Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Basically, there's just some more articles, all right, on prophecy. Okay, and we're seeing how these the tension is now starting to rise between the EU, or in these European nations, and the US. Okay, and it's gonna lead to what was written of in the scriptures. All right, so I'm just going to read a couple articles. All right, this is the first one. It says, "Goodbye, Europe. Der Spiegel depicts Trump as a middle finger flipping off EU amid Iran deal tensions." German magazine Der Spiegel has released its new issue with a cover featuring Donald Trump on a middle finger, flipping the bird. It comes just days after the U.S. angered Europe by walking away from the Iran nuclear deal. Reaction from EU officials is still pouring in since Trump announced his decision earlier this week. So it didn't take long before the cover was retweeted by French ambassador to the U.S. Gerard Araud. All right, it says German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas also has a few words to say to Der Spiegel on Friday about Washington pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal, saying the U.S. has shown very little willingness to take the arguments of its allies seriously. Okay, and then it says what? He went on to say that the decision has already taken hold of transatlantic ties. Der Spiegel's tone on the cover was matched inside the magazine with an editorial titled "Time for Europe to Join the Resistance." Okay, time for Europe to join the resistance. So what? In other words, they're about to start going against the U.S., man. All right, they're about to start going against Trump and stop caring about what he's saying and what he does, man. Okay, it says the article says that the U.S. President Donald Trump is only proficient in destruction, and that's right, because what? The scriptures talk about it. All right, let's get that son of perdition. Okay. Just get this one. 2 Thessalonians 2:3. "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." Okay, "who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." That's talking about these Edomites, man, and that's why they said what Trump is only proficient in destruction, because he's of a nation that are the sons of perdition. All they know is destruction. All right, and that's why everything that their hands touch, it destroys. It gets destroyed. Okay, and Job 9:24 has taken a big effect, especially here in America. So America's gonna be what? Destroyed. And in the kingdom, that's why these Edomites are gonna be exterminated, because we're not gonna need destruction. All right, we're not gonna need them destroying anything, man. The earth is gonna be fine. We're not gonna need them destroying the earth, man. So they're gonna be exterminated because their use, all right, their reason why they were created is gonna be over. All right, so going on. It says, referencing his pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal and Paris climate agreement, because what they can't see is that some people don't understand why some of these things are happening, but once you get it through your mind that the end goal is World War III, then it will start to make sense to you. Oh, that's why Trump did that. That's why, knowing that it will raise tensions in the Middle East, he's still doing that. That's why Israel and Iran are going at it. That's why this and this is happening, because it's set up to cause World War III. That's why it makes perfect sense to us, but not to the world, because they don't believe World War III is coming. So these actions don't make sense, and therefore it scares them. To us, we expect it to happen, and we're just seeing how it's happening. All right. It says the self-explanatory cover came just one day after German Chancellor Angela Merkel said that Europe can no longer count on the U.S. and must take matters into its own hands. That sentiment was echoed by French President Emmanuel Macron, who agreed that something should be done. Trump pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal despite America's three biggest allies, the UK, Germany, and France, putting forth their best efforts to convince him to stick with the landmark agreement signed in 2015. However, the U.S. president walked away from what he deems the worst deal ever negotiated on Tuesday. Much like Merkel and Macron, the decision has also left EU Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker to say that the U.S. must be replaced as a leader on the international stage because it has lost vigor. Now, you think the U.S. is going to quietly decide to just, let me just get replaced here real quick with the pride that they have? Hell no. All right. As for Merkel, it seems that her statement wasn't entirely fueled by Trump's Iran decision. She made a similar statement following a G7 summit last year, when attendees of the meeting were unable to convince the U.S. president to stay with the Paris climate agreement. The times in which we could completely depend on others are on the way out. I've experienced that in the last few days, she said at the time. Okay, so hey, these tensions are rising, man. It's building nice and beautifully. Now, do you have another article? All right. Basically following up on this. All right. Should be in here somewhere. There it is. U.S. may sanction EU companies who trade with Iran. All right. So it's the tensions are definitely rising, and real soon you're gonna start seeing that flip. All right, the destruction of alliances and the beginning of enemies. All right, you're gonna start seeing that, and soon they're gonna start. Before they know it, they're gonna start going against each other. They're gonna go from disagreeing with each other to going against each other. Okay, U.S. may sanction EU companies who trade with Iran. U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton has said the U.S. could sanction European companies that continue to trade with Iran, following the Trump administration's decision to withdraw from the Iran deal. It says Bolton made the remarks during an appearance on CNN's State of the Union Sunday. Asked if Trump would hit the EU with sanctions for continuing to deal with Iran, Bolton said it's possible. It depends on the conduct of their governments. The rationale for getting out of the deal is it was contrary to American national security interest when we got into it, and it hadn't gotten any better with age. There we go. The excuses. All right. It says Bolton suggested that U.S. sanctions could put pressure on EU to pull out of the agreement as well. I think the Europeans will see that it's in their interest ultimately to come along with us. I think that will sink in, and we'll see what happens then. So we're gonna see, man. The U.S. is trying to basically pull the leash. You know, the leash that they got on the EU, they're trying to yank it so the EU could follow them like the good doggies that they are. But guess what, man? That EU gonna turn around and be like, nah, I ain't going nowhere. You know? It says Trump announced his decision to withdraw from the Iran nuclear agreement on May 8th, almost 3 years after the deal, formerly called the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, was agreed. The U.S. president also confirmed the U.S. would reimpose European allies and put the Middle East at risk of a potential crisis. Not potential, because it's going to happen. All right? Prophetic crisis. Iran heavily criticized Trump's decision, claiming that the U.S. never kept to its international obligations under the deal. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani described the White House move as psychological warfare, adding that it was a war the U.S. would not win. France, Germany, and the UK issued a joint statement expressing regret over the U.S. decision and reiterating their continuing commitment to the deal. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo told Fox News Sunday that he is optimistic a new Iran deal can be negotiated with European allies, saying, "I am hopeful in the days and weeks ahead we can come up with a deal that really works, that really protects the world from Iranian bad behavior." That's not going to happen because the Iranians, man, they're like, we ain't doing nothing bad. All right? And we don't want no altered new deal. All right? But, hey, this is what? All prophecy once again. All right, every day it's like every day, man, something is happening, and because we know the end goal, we understand how this is being set up. You keep in mind with all these things brewing, so are the inward things. All right, more things are gonna start happening within Babylon. All right, you know, persecution. Esau starting to come after men of the Lord, start arresting brothers. All right, you know, it's gonna start, man. It's gonna start. You know, you might see a video, all right, or a testimony of a brother being arrested or a brother being in jail, all right, for this truth being falsely accused. That's gonna come, man, and it's gonna set off a chain reaction for, oh yeah, oh yo, get all of them. For all you who think, oh, I'm an Israelite, but you know, I'm gonna come against the man of the Lord because I don't like that. You know what I mean? They rebuke me on this thing. Listen, bro, when that time comes, you join in hand in hand with the devil. He ain't gonna. You think he's gonna make you exempt? Hell no. All right. So hey, that time is coming, man. All right, Jacob's trouble is coming. That famine of the word is coming. A lot of these prophecies, man, they're gonna boom, man. They're gonna start hitting. All right, and you better be ready for them, man. All right. So Lord, one, this is edifying unto the elect, and shalom.